Hello Facebook friends and family. I'm Brother Ron Washington with Black Meida Inc. And I'm going to be reporting on the Black agenda today. Our financial experts say that Black America has $1.1 trillion in buying power. Now people of color, that is enough money for us to finance every institution that we need in order to build and to grow our own black economy. Now listen to me. When we bring this kind of information to our communities, most of us reject it as it don't even apply to us anymore. And I wonder why, especially the way that we're suffering. Well, if we really want economic freedom, or if we really want to start our own black economy, we better stop behaving like it's not important to us. Because you see, 400 years of abuse has made us behave like infants who need their parents. And we're still waiting on a handout, begging for a handout. And this has paralyzed us from doing what our ancestors had to do back in their day, and that was build their own. And that's what we need to get back to. Because if you don't believe me, just look outside the black community. Everyone else is building, but we are still begging. So what's wrong with this picture? When our ancestors built the railroads, they built the White House, they built the schools, the infrastructures in each city, they built the financial institutions of America for their oppressors, but we refuse to build them for ourselves. Let's wake up, black man. Let's wake up, black woman. Let's reinstate the spirit of the builder. Then we can erase the legacy of the beggar. And I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because, you know, what blacks are saying, we need to vote, we need to vote, we need to vote, we need to vote. We got a black president. And guess what? Now they're saying we still need to vote. Okay, now I know a lot of you would disagree with me on this, but our ancestors, they died for a right to vote, and we should honor that sacrifice. But listen, voting, this is what's very controversial. Voting does not give you economic power. When you are a minority group under a white supremacist system. And by the way, do you see other groups trying to vote their kind into the Oval Office? No, you don't see that. You know why? Because they already have economic power. And they are well respected for that. What I am trying to say to you is this. When we begin to unite as a group and establish our own economy as a people, you don't need political power. Because the political power will come later, and politicians and everybody else will want to seek a piece of your economic pie. So, we can vote for another president for the next 10 years, Black America. We can do that and never gain financial prosperity. Do you know why? Because wealth comes from a group base faster than the individual effort. Let me give you an example. Let's just say one man wanted to start a fish market and versus 3 men who wanted to start one. Well, let's say the first guy, he has to do all of his laboring. He has to buy all of his equipment. He has to go fish and sell his food. That would eventually wear him out. Okay, on the other side, you got 3 men. One of them can do the fishing during the day. The other one can do the selling, and the other one can do the marketing, or vice versa. They have a better chance of gaining wealth at an accelerated rate because this is called group economics or group pluralism. And I know we're smart enough to remember that, black people. So any business can work if you got a market, but if you don't have a market or a great business plan, of course the business can fail, and we understand that. But we complain as a people when every other ethnic group set up their businesses in our neighborhood. We complain, you know, but they only do it because we refuse to do it. They only place their business in our neighborhood because we don't patronize our own black businesses. And that's a shame. But we have $1.1 trillion in buying power. That's a lot of money, and we got to do something about it. And voting is good, don't get me wrong. Voting is good, but building is better. We need to build, we need to build, we need to build for ourselves and stop looking for our former and present oppressors to give us a job. Marcus Garvey said way back in the 1800s, he said preparation is the watchword of the day. But we are not watching. And we're definitely not building. We're not building nothing but churches. And there's nothing wrong with the church. But this is our fate. And nobody want to talk about this issue. This is what concerns me the most. And you can hardly get any one of our leaders, I don't care if they're political leaders or spiritual leaders, to address these problems. And I wonder why. Why? Because that's a slave mentality. They was taught that in slavery. Just to don't stay focused on building for yourselves and doing for yourselves. Just preach the gospel. There's nothing wrong with the gospel, but we need to build. We need to build. Noah had to build that boat. He had to build that boat himself. So, and it's just me talking. Just like God had to wait until the older generation died off in the wilderness because of their unbelief and the division? I believe right now today, a lot of our black leadership, and I know this is a harsh statement, probably need to die off. And another group of revolutionary brothers and sisters got to take this thing over, because this is what we need. We don't need a job bill to be passed for blacks to get jobs. Reverend Dr.Ciaude is spearheading a big march in January on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday to get the United States government to pass a job bill for blacks only. Now listen, people, if they didn't give us something back in the 1800s, they didn't give us our 40 acres and a mule, what in the world, why do you think they're going to give it to us now? So the last 50 years we've been moving but not going forward, just like running on a treadmill. You know, I call it treadmill progress. But today blacks live in $150,000 homes. We drive $40,000 SUVs. We go to the biggest mega churches possible. We got mega churches now, and we don't even have $150 in the bank. We brag about our mega church, but don't know what it's like to own a mega business so we can hire our own people and hire our own children. That's a tragedy. That is economic genocide that we're committing against ourselves. And when we allow this process to continue, people, we fail each generation. We fail ourselves. Our generation before us, previous generation failed us. You know why? Because it made us more weaker and dependent upon a handout. And this is a slave tactic that's been used ever since slavery. And we got to cut it out. Because our freedom is not real freedom. It was only paper freedom. Because money and reparations never entered the picture when we integrated into a white society. So where do we go from here? What are the solutions? Well, first and foremost, we can do this. Number one, we need to strengthen our small black businesses. Spend your money at your small black businesses this holiday season so they can grow and put an ad in the paper saying we're hiring, and then give them a chance to hire some of our little black boys and little black girls so they can go to work. Okay? Now, leadership, and then we can boycott some of our leadership. Boycott every house Negro in your city or in the church. If they don't care about your own interests, have your interests in heart, you need to boycott them. Vote them out. Let them know this is our problem. Because some pastors, they need to listen to us. Some political leaders like Mayor Brown and everybody else, they need to listen to us. We need real leadership and real support. Because something is wrong, and we demanding answers now. We are demanding answers. Y'all know I drive a truck for a living, and on my route, I witnessed a group of Mexicans years ago, maybe 10 years ago, every morning walking to this particular farm that I delivered to. And within a year, they bought a pickup truck, and all of them packed on the back of a pickup truck like sardines in a can. And in within the next 4 years, they had a commercial van. And now, right now, in little small Jennings, Florida, which is about 22 miles from Valdosta, Georgia, the Mexicans own and operate 2 restaurants. 2 within about a 10-year period. Same thing in Suwannee County in Live Oak, Florida. They started landing on the farms about 12 years ago. I seen the Mexicans. And they're multiplying on these farms, and they're working together because they understand group economics. They understand something that we don't understand, and we've been here over 400 years. But they're working together, and within a 7-year period, they went from the farms to owning their own grocery store. Conjoined on that grocery store is their own laundromat. Conjoined against the laundromat is their own restaurant. They own 3 major businesses that they need to build their small economy within their group. And every time I pass by that restaurant late on in the daytime, when they get off from work, all of them at that restaurant supporting that restaurant, that Mexican restaurant. Black people, we lost it. And I don't know where we lost it, probably when we integrated. Because I believe integration was a curse to us. It destroyed our financial economy. We don't have an economy. How can you have an economy when you go to work all week just to give your money back to people, to white people? You don't own an economy. You don't own anything. You have nothing. But we want to brag and think we're doing so well because we go to a mega church. Come on, saints. Come on, people. Come on, black people. I know you're smarter than that. Let's wake up, smell the coffee, and let's do what we have to do. Let's learn how to come together, get rid of our division, and pool our resources together so we can one day be able to leave our children a real inheritance. And Brother Ron Washington, with Black Media Incorporated, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.